with another video.
How's it going, everybody?
I'm Rebecca.
I'm Ryan.
Right, and today we're gonna do our long distance relationship story. We're gonna let you guys in a little bit on our life. We haven't really done a video like that yet, so we thought it'd be a good idea to let you guys know a little bit more about us.
Before we start the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know what videos y'all want us to do in the future as well.
Yeah. Alright, let's get into it.
Alright.
So when we first met, we were together for about 2 weeks before, and then he went into basic training. And so our relationship pretty much started off as long distance. He lived in Oklahoma, that's where we met. And then 2 weeks later, was it like 2 weeks that we were dating?
Yeah.
2 weeks, maybe a month we were dating.
Something
and then
like that.
He went into the military, he went to basic training, so we got to know more about each other while he was at basic training, and we were writing letters to each other.
Yeah.
And what was the experience like for you?
It was weird because I had never done like a long distance relationship where all I had to do is write letters. I had done like longer distance before, not that long of a distance.
And we never knew what we were getting ourselves into. We didn't know if it was gonna go anywhere. We had just started dating.
Yeah, we had like literally just like started talking and stuff, and it hadn't even been that long, like maybe a couple weeks if that.
Yeah.
And so at that point it was just like I don't know, everything was just like whenever you're like first dating, you're getting like to know each other and all that stuff, you know, you have that stage where it's just getting to know each other. We're getting to know each other through letters.
Yeah, I mean,
from basic training.
It's probably a good thing because they got the physical side of it, and we really just got to know each other through letters.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how it first started. For me, I went from not having a relationship at all and jumped right into long distance. So for me, I was just like, I've never had a boyfriend before anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. And I don't even know, like, I didn't know where it was gonna go. I didn't think like 3 years into it, we're still be in a long distance relationship.
Yeah.
You know, I just took it day by day. I knew he was a good guy. So I was like, well, I think this can work.
Yeah.
And then after you were in basic training for how long?
So I was in basic training. I left for basic training in September. I didn't come, so we got like a little Christmas break. So I got to come home for 2 weeks. So I left for basic training in September, and then I came back in like mid-December for a couple weeks, and that was the first time that we had seen each other during that time.
We were still getting to know each other. It's it was still brand new.
Yeah, so
It's a little weird.
I just came back, and I had figured out, before I came back, I knew where I was going, where I was getting stationed at. I was going to get stationed in Washington.
We were hoping maybe he could get stationed in like Texas, so it's like only like a few hours drive. But Washington, that's a 30-hour drive.
I got stationed in Washington, and like the first thing I was just like, man, like that's a far ways away. But to me, it never once crossed my mind like
that it wasn't gonna work.
Yeah, like I never thought once about, you know, like, oh, is this gonna work, or can we make this work, this long distance? I was just like, I was basically gonna leave it up to her. I told her that I was gonna get stationed in Washington, and if she wanted to call it quits, then that would have I would have been like, okay, because I would have understood. But I wasn't necessarily gonna do that just because I'm that type of person.
I knew he was a good guy, and I was committed, so I was like, okay, Washington, I've never been there, so like I can go visit. At first, of course, I was like, dang, like he's gonna be in another state. I've never been there, you know. So at first, I was a little like worried, just a little bit, but I like nothing crossed my mind that I was gonna like break up with you at all. Like I knew we were gonna make it work. And he moved there. And how long did it take for me to? Did I fly to you first?
No, I actually came down first. I came to pick up my car. So like I got to Washington. It had only been like a month, so I went back to basic training. I flew to Washington about 2 weeks later. I was here for about a month, and then I went back down to Oklahoma. I flew down there to pick up my car and saw her, and then I drove my car back up to Washington.
Yeah, and I think it was like 3 months and then I came to see you.
Yeah, there was a little gap in between that,
Yeah.
and then she came to.
see you. And the
came
good
to
thing
Washington.
about long distance is like every time I did see him, it was like brand new dating.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
It
yeah.
felt like the honeymoon phase, which
Yeah.
was really nice.
Yeah,
I was so
yeah.
excited to come visit him.
Yeah, every time it was like such an excitement. Every time she would come see me or I was going to see her, like we both would just be like really excited to see each other. Then at the same time, it also.
It was hard. Well, the goodbyes were hard. It's like
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
you only
yeah.
get like a few days or a week together, and then
Yeah.
you know it's gonna end. And who knows if it's gonna be 3 months, 6 months? What's the longest? 6 months till we hadn't seen each other.
Yeah, probably like
6 months when he went to training, and it was hard. And you start to question like, is this worth it? Like, which we knew was worth it, but it's just like, where's this gonna go? Because we didn't really have plans. Like
No.
until like we were 2 years into it, then we started talking about like what we're gonna do, where this is gonna go, you know?
Yeah. Every time that we were apart, like it was tough, but then like whenever we got back together, like it
We're
made
like,
that.
hey, we realized this
yeah,
is worth
like
it.
those,
Like,
those
I don't
times
want
that
to
we
let him
were
go.
apart, like it made up for that.
Yeah. And I'm sure we've had friends and family thinking, oh, you guys are crazy. You kind of started this last minute. I mean, not last minute. You kind of started this as long distance, and like, how do you think this is gonna work? Like, how do
Yeah.
you trust him, and how, like, you know? Like
Yeah.
that's the thing. Like we had great trust between each other.
Yeah. We trusted each other. We communicated.
Really
pretty well.
Yeah,
I mean,
communication. Like I would call. We talked to each other almost every night.
yeah, that was another thing
Yeah.
too. I didn't think that was really weird until like I talked to like some of my other friends that are in the military, and like they didn't really like talk to their significant others or whatever
That
as much
much.
as much as I did, because like almost every
Literally,
night,
I stayed up because we had a 2-hour
Yeah.
difference, so I would stay up super late
Yeah.
talking to him, and I didn't care because I'm like, you know what, like this is the only way it's gonna
Yeah,
work,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And like I would tell him if I was going out somewhere, like if we can't talk, then I'll let him know ahead of time. That's where the communication comes in. Is
Yeah.
I let him know, hey, I'm doing this with my friends. I'm doing that, and he'll be like, okay, and tonight I'm not gonna call you, and
Yeah,
he'll
yeah.
do the same with me.
Yeah, and it was just like, like we just like FaceTimed each other all the time.
Oh,
So
yeah.
funny story about that. I was actually, so I had an Android phone. It's kind of off topic, but it's kind of funny. I had an Android phone the whole entire time.
Yeah.
Like my whole life, I've always had an Android phone. I was so against
He was
Apple.
so against iPhones. I don't know why.
So against, it wasn't just iPhones. It was just Apple
Apple?
products
Yeah.
in general. I was just so against them. We would Skype, but yeah, like she said, Skype would be slow.
It just
It
wasn't
would just start
convenient for-
lagging. It
yeah.
would cut off and stuff like that. And so finally, she was like, "You should really get an iPhone so we can FaceTime." And I was so against iPhones and Apple
Turned into
products. And I was just like, you know
Team
what?
iPhone.
Okay, I'm gonna get an iPhone so we can
Yeah.
Skype. So
Or
so we can
FaceTime.
FaceTime. So I got an Apple phone. Then I got I think like the iPhone 6 or iPhone 5,
Yeah,
something
whatever was
like
available
that.
cheap.
Yeah,
And And then it helped a lot. Then 'cause we were able to see each other, like for
Yeah.
if there's any special occasions, you know. So
Yeah,
that
man.
helped a lot.
After that's when I made the switch, and I've been Apple products since then.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Back to the topic.
back to the
So communication, we realized that was definitely communication
Yeah.
and trust were our biggest things. Like
Yeah.
that we had that. I feel like without that,
Yeah.
you can't really have a long distance relationship.
Yeah, it's kind of hard because even in a long distance relationship, there may not be it's kind of hard, especially like being in the military. The hardest thing about being in a relationship when you're in the military with somebody that's not in the military is have an understanding.
Yeah.
Because they don't understand, like especially like when you're going to the field and you're doing all this other type of training, and like you have like you're dealing with a lot of some things on the job that you're just like and you know sometimes you know you deal with a lot of extra stuff.
Yeah.
And that person doesn't really understand because you know they're not in the military. They don't know military
The
like
lifestyle,
lifestyle
yeah.
and stuff, so they don't know what you're going through. So like just being able to like kind of communicate.
Which we were
Of
both
what's going
understanding
on.
of each other.
Yeah.
Like I had my own things going on. Of course, the military
Yeah,
was what
yeah.
was keeping us away from each other,
Yeah,
and I had
yeah.
like no plans of moving here yet at that time. You know,
Yeah.
we didn't. Yeah, we started talking about like me moving here. What is it? 2 years or 3 years into 2 years?
Yeah,
into
about
a
like 2
relationship.
years. Yeah, we
Yeah.
like we just were steady with the long distance, and then
Yeah.
finally, like we kind of finally started talking about like her moving up here and
Yeah.
stuff a little bit.
Even after
later.
we set the date, it still didn't happen because the military, you don't know what
Yeah,
happens.
yeah,
we
'cause I had
set
training
set
come
October,
up,
and then like I had told people that I'm gonna move there, and then it didn't happen, and so I'm sure everybody's like, when is this gonna happen? Is this even gonna work? You know?
Yeah.
That's where you have to. When people like, there's people that are gonna doubt you, a long distance relationship, especially for people that are starting offline or online. You know?
Yeah.
People are gonna doubt you. You're just gonna have to ignore what people say, you know. And
Yeah,
like,
that's another
as long
thing
as you have
too,
a good bond
like,
with your
me personally, I don't ever really care what other people think of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just been that type of person, especially more so now. I don't really care about what people think or like other people's inputs and stuff. I respect other people's
But at the end of the
decisions
day, you're
and
gonna
stuff,
do
but
what you
at the
wanna
end
do.
of the day, you know, it's up to those two individuals
That's
to
true,
decide
yeah.
what they want to do. There can be a lot of like outside advice that is good and helpful, but at the end of the day, you have to make the choices for yourself, because if you take, you know, just all the advice that other people give you or tips or
And you're not gonna end
whatever,
up being happy.
then yeah, it's not to say you won't be happy, but like if something doesn't go right, then you yourself are gonna think, man, like I shouldn't have took that advice or whatever. So just
Yeah.
make sure that like whatever decisions you make, that you make those decisions based on your desires and
Yeah.
what you want
Yeah.
or what you want for you and your significant other.
We
That way,
knew
like
100% we wanted each other, or else we would not have gone that
Yeah.
long. Like, I was so confident. If it wasn't with him, I don't think I would have been in a long distance relationship.
Oh yeah, for sure. It
'Cause-
definitely wouldn't have worked out like any other way.
No, like
Just
I think
because-
the way it worked, long distance was meant for us. Like Ryan always says, everything happens for a reason. I think the way everything happened for us was supposed to happen that way, because we don't know what would have happened if Ryan had stayed in Oklahoma, you know, and we stayed. We don't know if we would have lasted, you know. So like being apart, I think that was our way of like sticking together.
being able to grow like
Yeah, we
closer
grew a
with
lot.
actually like being apart and stuff, and we
Yeah.
still got to like really like learn each other. And
We became best friends. Like we got
Yeah,
to know
yeah.
each other. We laughed together.
Yeah.
And then we came together. And
Yeah,
like,
we would tell each other like everything.
we tell each other.
pretty much.
There's some girls that have a problem with like their man's past, like who he's
Yeah.
been with, all that. I don't care. I want to know everything about you. If we're getting
Yeah.
married, like
Yeah.
there's no secrets in a marriage.
And that's
you
the
know?
same way I am. Like I don't really care about like the past and stuff. I just want to know.
Yeah, like
I want
we
to
don't
know
get mad.
everything.
Yeah.
Like I'm just that type of person.
Yeah,
like when
I've
I'm
told
with
him.
someone, I want to know like everything like that's ever happened or
Yeah.
whatnot.
And-
And I don't judge like off of the past or anything
Yeah.
like that. I just like to
Yeah.
know.
And being like on the phone a lot made us open up a lot. That's
Yeah.
what, you know, like rather than like being, I think it made us more comfortable because if we were
Yeah.
together, maybe we wouldn't have, like, because we're in person, you know.
Yeah.
But talk about what was the hardest thing about your long distance relationship for you?
Just when I wouldn't see you for a
Yeah.
long time. Well, I mean that's
That was obviously the hardest part. Also, for me, you had a lot of people that had long distance relationships. For me, I didn't have anybody that could relate to me.
yeah.
Like, 'cause I mean, I know people didn't really say it to me, but I'm sure people were like, "You're really in a long distance relationship that's like this long," and nobody. I didn't have any friends that had a long distance relationship, so I didn't have anyone to relate to.
Yeah.
So that was hard. Obviously, the first is not seeing each other for so long.
Yeah.
When did we decide we're gonna move together?
Whenever I came down there to propose to you, so it was like
Yeah.
it was right before Christmas of 2017.
Yeah, we were so excited. Like once we decided that, obviously we made a decision first, and that didn't work out. And then like months, I was excited. The time got there, and his
Yeah.
military training messed it all up. I was upset, and then he came back, proposed, and then we made another date. I'm pretty sure that didn't work out either, even after you proposed.
No, so no. So what happened was I proposed, and then right after that, I came back after my Christmas leave. I came back and I had training that I had to go to, and like right after like back-to-back training that I had to go to, and so originally, like, we were talking about her coming up before the training, but that didn't end up working
And
out.
I think I just said I didn't want to also because what's the point of me coming here and then he's going to be gone?
She didn't want to. Yeah, she didn't want to be up here by herself.
I didn't know anybody here, so.
Yeah, so she didn't want to do that. So at that time, I was just like, okay, well, after I come back from all my training and stuff, then I'll go down there and come get you and, you know, bring you up here. So that's what ended up happening. We ended up after my training and everything, we literally found a place to stay, and then
I was so happy. It's like, dang, we really, looking back, we really did 3 years of long distance.
Yeah,
that's crazy. I wouldn't have done it with anybody else.
Yeah,
nobody else. Would you recommend long distance for anybody?
I mean, I can't really say whether I'd recommend or not recommend long distance because it depends on the person. Like, everybody is different. You know, what works for some people doesn't work for other people. Like, some people can do long distance relationships, some people
can't. Just the key things though is if you are in a long distance relationship, make sure you have the right guy or the right girl. Make sure you have trust. Make sure you have communication. If you don't have those things, it's gonna be especially trust and communication. Like if you don't have those two things, I don't get how a long distance would work. You know, you guys both need to be 100%, not 50-50, 100% into the relationship and make the effort to go see the person and have a plan for when you guys will move together. You know, like you have to. Like if you're making more effort to see that person and they're not really trying to come see you, that's a red flag. I've had people say that before.
Yeah.
And now we've been married for almost 2 years after long distance, so it can work, guys.
Yeah. So I mean, not to say that we're like the model couple.
No, we're not at all. Like we've had our ups and downs. We didn't really share more into that.
We're still a young couple. You know that every couple has things that they have to go through and stuff. But to say that we definitely, with long distance relationship, we've been through that. There may be couples out there that are like going through that and stuff. And just to say that we've been through that, like probably to the most extreme, you know. So at least one of the most extreme situations. I always think that our situation is pretty unique, just because we pretty much started off literally like we talked and dated for like a couple weeks, and then it was long distance after that for
like the fact that we trusted each other to just jump into it without knowing each other so much, and it worked is crazy. It's still crazy to me. You look back, I'm like, we really went through that.
Yeah, looking back on it, I'm just like, man, like I definitely couldn't have done that with anybody else. Honestly. And it's definitely like, I don't know, it's just a blessing that we were able to make it through that.
Now I'm with my baby, my best friend.
Now we together, and now
we're happy.
And it's funny to think because, like, I don't know, I guess like going through the long distance relationship, you always think of like, man, like when are we like finally gonna be together, like living together, or when when is the long distance part gonna end? Like that, I think that's always the part of every long distance relationship, because it's essentially like it comes to an end at one point. So
either you're together or you're not.
So I think that was definitely like always a question. Like, man, like when is the long distance part gonna end, and like we're gonna be together?
Yeah. We made it work, and we're happy.
Yeah, definitely made it work. So it is possible, and we'll have more videos in the future, like going more in depth,
like our struggles. This is just like a general short story.
Yeah, this is trust me. This is.
It wasn't just happy. We can talk about like the fights we've had. It wasn't like bad fight. It was never serious.
We never had like really serious fights, but we did have like little arguments or disagreements.
We've gotten close to breaking up like a few times. So we'll talk. If you guys want to see that video of us going in depth, then we can do that.
Like I said, there's definitely a lot of other things that we were going through. So sorry if this video is kind of everywhere. We just kind of want to talk about our long distance relationship, kind of just scratch the surface of it, and
I think it's a big part of like us getting together. So we
Yeah.
wanted to share it. I also want to share how we met, and I think we have a pretty cool story for that too.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to see that video, comment down below.
Yeah.
And I think that's the end of it.
Yeah, that's it, y'all. So, like I said, any other videos that y'all want to see, let us know. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on the video. Share it with your family, friends, and loved ones. And, of course, we will see y'all in the
Another
next video.
Thank you guys for watching.
All right. Bye, y'all.